If your current gut health routine involves choking down expensive, lab-grown synthetic probiotic pills or suffering through major bloating from raw, superfood salads, you are working way too hard for zero results. While the Western wellness industry is obsessed with trying to force live bacteria into a hostile stomach acid environment, Japan has spent centuries perfecting a completely different system. Their secret? They don't just focus on live bacteria. They focus on enzyme loading, retrograde starches, and postbiotics. The proof is in the data. Japan consistently boasts some of the lowest metabolic syndrome rates and longest health spans on the planet. And it is not just genetics. Today, we are skipping the basic advice. We are counting down the top 5 Japanese gut health secrets backed by modern microbiome science that will completely fix your digestion, crush bloating, and flatten your energy levels. Let's dive in. Starting our countdown at number 5 is the daily micro-shot routine built around tsukemono, traditional Japanese pickled vegetables, and kurosu, a dark, aged black rice vinegar. In the West, pickles are mostly just cucumbers soaked in dead, pasteurized white vinegar. But authentic Japanese tsukemono are wild fermented using salt, rice bran, or sake leaves. This creates incredibly resilient plant-derived lactic acid bacteria like Lactobacillus plantarum. Because these strains evolve on plant matter rather than dairy, they possess a naturally rugged cell wall that survives stomach acid dramatically better than standard yogurt cultures. Pair that with a splash of kurosu, which is packed with rich acetic acid and amino acids, and you create an environment that stops bloating in its tracks. Acetic acid accelerates gastric emptying and improves insulin sensitivity, making sure your food actually moves through you instead of sitting and fermenting in your gut. A great action item is to simply add 2 tablespoons of traditional fermented pickles to your lunch. Coming in at number 4 is a structural habit, starting your largest meal with a warm bowl of traditional miso soup. From a purely physiological standpoint, drinking a warm, savory, nutrient-dense liquid at the very beginning of a meal is an absolute masterstroke. It signals your vagus nerve to physically relax your gastrointestinal tract and triggers the release of stomach acid, prepping your body for optimal digestion. But here is the modern scientific twist. Real, unpasteurized miso paste is absolutely packed with postbiotics. These are the highly beneficial structural compounds and metabolic byproducts left behind during the months-long fermentation process of soybeans and koji. Even if the heat of the soup deactivates some live bacteria, those postbiotics interact directly with your gut's immune cells. They prime your intestinal barrier and reinforce your gut lining before the heavier, complex foods arrive. Number 3 solves one of the biggest mysteries in nutrition. How does Japan consume white rice daily while maintaining incredible metabolic health and lean waistlines? It all comes down to a chemical phenomenon called starch retrogradation. The secret is that they frequently eat rice that has been slightly cooled, exactly like the rice found in traditional sushi, bento boxes, or onigiri rice balls. When cooked, short-grain rice cools down to room temperature or is chilled. Its molecular structure completely morphs into resistant starch type 3. Because it is resistant, your upper digestive tract literally cannot absorb it as a normal carbohydrate. It bypasses the small intestine entirely, which prevents a massive blood sugar spike, and travels all the way to your large intestine. Once there, your native microbes ferment it into a goldmine of butyrate. Butyrate is a short-chain fatty acid that repairs your gut lining, seals tight junctions, and keeps your metabolism firing. You get the comfort of carbs with all the fuel of prebiotic fiber. At number 2 is the secret weapon used by Japanese chefs for centuries that is now taking over global health food trends. Koji. Koji is a cultured grain that serves as the foundation for miso and soy sauce, but you can buy it as a liquid marinade called Shio Koji. Koji is unique because it is an absolute factory of live digestive enzymes, specifically amylase to break down starches and protease to break down proteins. Instead of popping an enzyme pill right before you eat, you marinate your proteins, fish, or vegetables in Shio Koji for 30 minutes before cooking. The live enzymes do the heavy lifting externally, chemically breaking down tough protein chains into free amino acids before the food ever hits your mouth. This dramatically lowers the overall digestive load on your stomach and pancreas. The result? Zero post-meal fatigue, zero heavy bloating, and an explosion of deep, savory flavor. And coming in at number 1 as the ultimate, undisputed holy grail of Japanese gut health is Natto, fermented soybeans. Now, warning, it has an intense, pungent smell and a very sticky, stringy texture. But from a microbiome standpoint, it is a literal superpower. Natto is fermented using a uniquely resilient spore-forming bacteria called Bacillus subtilis natto. Unlike fragile dairy probiotics, these spores easily survive your harsh stomach acid to colonize your lower digestive tract. But the real reason it takes the number 1 spot is its role as a natural GLP-1 catalyst. When this specific bacterial strain processes nutrients in your large intestine, it stimulates your gut cells to naturally release GLP-1, the exact satiety hormone that blockbuster metabolic health treatments try to mimic. It slows down gastric emptying, stabilizes your insulin response, and naturally silences intense sugar cravings. If you struggle with the texture, whip it vigorously with a splash of tamari and hot mustard, and spoon it right over your cooled, resistant rice. The textures blend seamlessly, and your gut will completely transform. Fixing your gut health isn't about buying overpriced green powders or completely starving yourself of carbs. It is about working with your native biology using enzymes, cool starches, and ancient structured fermentation. Pick just one of these 5 secrets to try this week. Let your rice cool down, grab some Shio Koji, or start your lunch with a warm miso soup. Your microbiome will thank you. If you want a complete shopping guide on how to spot the best raw, unpasteurized versions of these ingredients at your local market, let me know in the comments below. Hit that subscribe button for more science-backed health deep dives, and I'll see you in the next video.